everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working more on Eclipse Judgment. One is our end. I'm glad the drums and yelling came in. I thought it was a funeral march for Anime Art Commission. Not quite yet, but I went to stream earlier today. It's 6 o'clock where I am, and generally speaking, nothing has much changed here. I did end up doing a bit more lore stuff. Generally speaking, what I need to do, I'm going to be doing the lore a little bit piecemeal, just when I kind of get the concepts. Basic idea is Celestial Bureau, pretty much people have been cultivating for years, for forever. But however, those are mythological people. Mythological entities have cultivated and grown in power, enabling them to become stronger. However, everyone can technically do it as long as it's a spiritually strong world. The unfortunate part is some worlds are simply not. Everything is managed by the Celestial Bureaucracy, trying to keep everything in line and keep the world in order. However, there are individuals called devils. Devils are going to do their best to break into your world and fuck shit up so they can become an evil god. I looked and that would be the correct term for them, just an evil god. So it's like, okay, Celestial Bureaucracy doesn't really want to step in because they don't want to interfere with the world too much. However, they will if an evil god is born. However, they have a solution for it, though. So what they're going to do is they're going to send an emissary down there to bring about cultivators. Pretty much going to kickstart your cultivation career and allow you to stop the devil before it destroys everything. You are, however, not in a world that is really suited for cultivation. That was the before time. Unfortunately, you're not really that cool. Your world literally is just not... Our world is not designed for this shit. So it's like, well, we're going to kickstart your ability to do this, though. And you're going to get real sick. You're going to feel like hell. But because you're going through effectively years of training and formations in about a week. While also being half dead and ill. So, but once you're done, you feel better than ever before. You are, stronger, faster, reaction faster, a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser. You are pretty much the best you can be. However, you're now tasked with defeating the devil, or defeating entities that want to deal harm to your world using the power of cultivation and kung fu. Pretty simple stuff. I do plan on adding some more stuff, like here's the spiritual world, here's the demon world, here's what devils kind of look like, here's what minions kind of look like. But generally speaking, like forming the core, not really changing. You're going to see some of the artwork around here. Bearing like karma and deviation. We have some basic dice augmentation. None of these really changed. I thought this worked pretty well. I still think I need to rewrite this section. As you kind of see here, I did a little bit of some arty-farty to make things look really nice. So having quick reflexes, strong bodies, there's no subtle cutting. Pretty much what I kept trying to get with this, and I actually sat at this last night, I was like, this isn't working, is problems that you are facing are not human problems. You are facing cultivator problems. That means you are much bigger, much grander, much more scary. And as such, it's like you kind of tempering yourself as that, but you're still ultimately human. You're just someone with vastly larger potential. Today we're going to be mostly working on kind of what I would like to say the subhuman self. We're going to be working a lot on the kind of the bones of what characters are going to look like. And this is our track, what we need to do right here. Now, obviously, creating a cultivator, we're going to talk about attributes, relationships, health, and defiance. That's kind of the name. I know it's just going to be health mostly. Now, I want to note this particular part right here. This is going to be a complicated one because what I actually need to do is I need to get this done, then I can do these. So I want to get this done. This is my goal for today. It doesn't seem like a lot, but once those are done, this is going to be next week. We can wrap this up I say we can wrap this up pretty nicely. And once that's all wrapped up, the rest of these are pretty simple to do, all things considering. Like, these are just like relationships and kind of how they work. Deviations more kind of fall into the... that's going to be kind of more falling into the advancement section. And then kind of a GM section, like here's how enemies look and stuff like that. Not very complicated. This is going to be the hump right here, though. First things first, we have to get over that fucking hump. You may also be noticing, Notepad, this artwork looks half decent. Where did you find it? Well, I have been a friend, a mutual, a friendo mine did actually send me a thing. I thought this was kind of neat. It's novel AI. I've been using AI stuff because AI things fascinate me. Kind of see here, look, she's so pretty. I think it's fascinating. I think it's interesting. I actually generated pretty much everything here has been generated in one way or another, except this. This is just from the Common Writer Guy, I believe, manga, because I thought it looked kind of cool. Yeah, no, it's pretty neat. I actually got some neat ones kind of pop up as I was going through. I do like the fact that it does maintain a relatively consistent style throughout, which I think works pretty well. So yeah, that's that. Welcome to AI. Notepad personally slaughtered dozens of anime artists, personally killing the entire. I literally went to I personally kicked down the door of 5 artists and sacrificed their bones to the fucking god, the god of art. It's like I will become the terror. I am the problem. I am an engine of death. But bug them. I don't care. That's my philosophy on the matter. Fuck them. But yeah, I know. This actually turns out like his hands are a little bit fucked up, but I'm like, not too fussed about it, to be honest. Like, I think everything looks pretty well. Like, this turned out amazing. Like, this turned out way cooler than I thought it was gonna. It looks a little bit dumb if you look a little close to it, but I'm like, yeah, this looks pretty baller. This is kind of exactly what I was thinking of. Sometimes it does freak out, but then you get shit like this, where I would like when I got this, I'm like, holy shit, this hits hard. Like, this looks pretty fucking good, all things considered. Very stylized, but I like the way that it looks. It does, however, things tend to look similar, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. But it happens. So, yeah, we're gonna be working on creating a cultivator today. Cultivation, you could say. Cultivating a cultivator. So, attribute. So, we're going to be working on cultivation. When the Gia has arisen from their formation. Let's see, has arisen. They have taken the first steps becoming a true cultivator. If you haven't noticed, by the way, cultivation stuff. I actually looked at this. Cultivation is bullshit. Nothing makes fucking sense. It's great. When the G has arisen, they have taken the first steps of becoming a true cultivator. Let's. They will be taking their formative. They'll be taking their formative adventures. Wait, no. They will actually together with their allies. They will oppose the devil. And their minions from causing chaos in the world. Let's see. Together with their allies, they will oppose the devil and the minions from causing chaos in the world. When creating a Gia, they will be when creating a Gia, they will begin at level 1. I should actually put a special note there, but I don't know really what to say. But then when creating a Gia, they'll begin at level 1. Their formation. And their formation. This grants them their initial attributes. powers. Actually, initial attributes, skills, and abilities. Let's grant some of their initial attributes, skills, and abilities. And as well as their first transformation. Transform. As well as their first transformation. Mission. Still relatively weak. Even starting Jia are strong enough to hold their own hold their own against enemies. Hold their own against enemies. Refining their techniques. Perfecting their form is the ultimate goal. So we got the basic idea. Hey, cool, you've survived, you've become Superman, now you get all your super. Awesome. Heading to attributes. Yeah. Hi, Notepad, what are we doing tonight? Tonight we're going to be working on Eclipse phase. When is our end? And generally speaking, we're going to be doing the bones of characters. That's pretty much the basic concept of things. I don't want to get into powers and abilities and stuff, because here's the thing with like powers and abilities. Powers need to be informed by combat, but combat's going to inform how powers look. So what I need to do is I need to have the basic bones of a character to do combat, then to do powers, then we can kind of continue on. If I don't have this section, I can't do combat, but then I can't do the powers to finish character creation. Yeah, it's a little bit wonky there. It's a little bit wonky. It should work. Eclipse phase, when is our end? Officially post Cyberpunk Cultivation. That exists, by the way. That's what Jeremy Deathblade By wrote. Let's see. What's our attributes? Grab my attributes. HZ, 1, 2, 5, 6. Actually, Chinese numerology, 6. Considerable lucky word mean to flow and smooth progress in life. Boom, totally planned. Awesome. Each Zia has 6 attributes which define how they have developed their abilities and supernatural power. Each of the attributes. How do we want to do a their attribute scores range from 0 to actually no, it'd be 0 to there we go. Their attributes range from 0 to 12. With even a 0 being considered a, with even 0 being a powerful number. That their attributes range from 0 to 12. Attribute scores range. No, that doesn't work actually. Find me, numerology. Tell me numerology, long lasting. That works. Let's see, their attributes range from 0 to 9. Representing divine, representing supernatural quality to it. At the start of the what would you call this? I guess at the start of the campaign, at the start of the journey. Yeah. At the start of their journey, the Jia will have a total of what would be a good number for formations. What's 3? 3 is luckily similar sounding to the word, means birth. 3. So we're going to have 3. We'll have a total of 3 attribute points. Let's see, attribute. Distribute among their attributes to a maximum. To a maximum of 2. So you can have a 1 or a 2 pretty much in all your abilities, which that pretty much means that you can, of your stats, you're going to have a 1 1 1 0 0 0 0, which again, that's fine if you have a 0 on something. That still means like you're supernatural. You just can't, you can't shove it up or down a little bit, or it's going to be 2 1 0 0. What the fuck, what? Jeremy Deathblade by? Oh, 3 attributes from among their attribute to a maximum of 2. How do we want to do this? Okay, so constitution. The Gias, the Gias. Let's see. The Gias raw endurance, ability to withstand bodily harm toward themselves, as well as their spiritual. Let's see. Well as their spiritual. Those with high constitution are not only hardy, but able to. Well, let's see, but able to resist the temptations and magic and mystic arts of others. So let me see. Soul. The Gia 025. The Gias. Charismatic magnetism, actually natural magnetism, magnetism and willpower. And let's see, natural magnetism and willpower. Allowing them to influence others and push through difficulties. Those with high soul are not only those with high soul are our charismatic genius, our charismatic and popular, among others, as well as having the sense of let's see, how would I want to do this? I want to be willpower necessarily. I want willpower, synonym. Okay, actually, and having the resolve, as well as having the resolve to stand firm against the martial and mystic art. Others. Oh, I'm getting it. Who's adding me? What do you want? What do you want? Milwaukee. Milwaukee-san. So we need this. We need to go here. We need to click on this and our next one. So we got soul, constitution, soul, reason. So Gia, quick wit. Gia's quick wit and not quick wit and let me with saying this and scholarly disposition. Allowing them to not only find the truth when it is hidden. See, allowing them to not only find the truth when it is hidden, but also outwit their enemies. Those with high let's see. Those with high reason can be associated with geniuses. But also have the mystic. Also have the knowledge of mystic arts. Pretty much the way that I want it is I want everything to feel useful in some capacity. I don't want like, here's an attribute that's stupid that nobody uses. Because I was a little bit worried initially, being like, man, everyone's just gonna pump might because might's gonna be your official, tacky. But it's like, yeah, you want to use con to defend yourself. You want to use reason for kind of more mystic attacks. You can use soul for different kinds of attacks. You want to use agility for this kind. You want to use luck for this. You want to use might for that. It's like having higher reason is still good because you're just a smarter person. But, having high might means that you can punch harder. Then maybe you want to go, if you're going for more like a glass cannon build, you might pump might and agility, but kind of leave out maybe constitution. You don't need constitution as much, right? Well, because I'm going to survive. I'll be fine. Let's see. Having high reason cult weakens you because you start questioning the whole logic of the whole cultivation thing. Yeah, see, the thing is, cultivation is a fascinating concept. Like, the more I read on it, the more I'm like, oh, this is cool, but I'm also like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm just like, please shut the fuck up. And like, I don't want to be like, well, the Chinese are stupid. No, I don't want to say something like that, but it's more like the lines of like, holy shit. Shut the fuck up. Like, oh, well, have you mastered the ancient art of Guanfang Du or whatever? I'm like, what the hell are you on about? I think one of the major issues with like the cultivation thing is that like it's so simultaneously very personal to the character, but also very way bigger than anything else you can really wrap your head around. Oh, you're not just powerful. It would make more sense if we all spoke Mandarin. Apparently not. Apparently it is just that fucking chaotic. Like, because you get shit like, this is the part that like threw me for a fucking loop. Because I'm like, well, I know one. My friend mentioned it before. Yeah, my friend mentioned this before, so I'm like, okay, I will have my I will reference my friend. You know, he said something about this, so I should talk about it. I mean, maybe this is something useful. This is the main character of I Might Be a Fake Cultivator. This is An Lin or An Lin. Now if we go to his story and trivia, let's just go down to this one. Shortly after An Lin returned from the ancient Tai Chu realm, he and his friends participated in the challenges of the Immortal Spirit Tower, where he created stories that would remain forever in the memories of students of the United University Cultivation, such as the Zhonwan Cheng, which has sent an ancestral mighty figure to the afterlife, Zhu Kuan Yun, who exemplified slow and steady mentality, Zhu Xiaolin, who proved to be unexpected dark core of the year's trials, and Li Quanhuan, who has transcended the thrilling tribulation, and even Jiang Xiamen, who got carried up for 2 levels. All of these were fond memories for everyone who took look back on many years, and certainly there were a man who had pummeled the doubt integration stage True God and conquered the entire Immortal Spirit Tower. This shit is normal, apparently. This is just supposed to be like, yeah, this makes complete fucking sense. Of course. Yeah, like this is fine. I'm like, no, this is not. Yeah, it's like, okay, what stage of cultivation are you on? Oh, novelty. Let's like novel chapter. Yeah, novel chapter 817. He hasn't, but on chapter 1347. Or 2378 is that's the novel chapter we gotta worry about. Yeah, chapter 2, or War God body form, very different. Here's all his girlfriends, by the way. It's like, yeah, this was the one that I'm like, yeah, you should take a look at this one. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? What? Yeah. Like, what in the god fucking damn am I even reading here? Am I going insane? I missed Medi Street. Yeah, Dragon Ball. Yeah, it's like, here's my divine god body form or whatever. It's like, oh, sweet fuck. Like, the thing with cultivation, this is the thing with a lot of the cultivation stuff. Also, Draco, we're working on Eclipse Judgment, which is a project I got paid money for, which is cultivation toku. Generally speaking, with cultivation, because as I explained last time, cultivation is the process of simply the process of gaining power through ancient Chinese medicine techniques to simply acquire women. This is just the basic process of how cultivation actually works, and it just kind of continues. Like, it just keeps going. There's no other reason for it. You said to acquire women. Yes. Now, alternative ones are cultivate. You know, we have cultivation, gain power. Then occasionally it's acquire men. Then every now and again you have cultivation. You want to gain power, but then you also need to like acquire. Yeah, these are the kind of the ultimate like things about what I've learned about cultivation ultimately is. It's like, oh, I want to cultivate to get super strong so I can marry my jade-like beauty. Hey, I want to get super strong, so oh no, but this woman obviously wants my spirit juice or whatever. Now I gotta train harder to make sure she doesn't get my spirit juice all out of whack. Oh no, I'm suffering fire deviation. I've lost my cultivation superpower. Hey, oh no, gotta gain more power. This is just what I've kind of. This is just how I've interpreted cultivation. Is that correct or wrong? I don't care. Just the process of acquiring additional women. All I'm saying is cultivation is like gacha. Sir, our power level is dropping. We need more men. Yeah, it's you charge up, you get more, you keep doing stuff, and because the weird thing is, all these books and stories, there is no such thing as like the universal cultivation technique. There isn't. This does not exist. It's like, well, it's novel A, like novel A cultivation does it, is this way, but novel B's cultivation is completely different. They will say the same words. They will say the same ideas. But it's like, oh, well, I've been training 4,000 years to become super god level 77. Yeah, it's like, I am super strong and it's super important. And others are like, I ate the magic pill and now I'm super god. Or you get some that are like, oh, well, I hit a magic stick, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, to me, I put cultivation somewhat on like the same term, like same level as like isekai power levels, where again it's like, oh, well, I've been isekai to a different world, but I'm level 999 gorillion now. I'm gonna ignore that for a second. Like, I'm level 999. I'm gonna farmer. I'm a level 999 farmer, and I'm a isekai power level 900,000. It's like, what the fuck are you on about? I'm a cultivator, and I've gained 17 gorillion power level. I gotta stop the demon god using my magic powers. And same bullshit. It is the same shit to me. Sword Art Online TTRPG when I already have one of those, fun fact, so fuck you. So to answer Solid Crazy's question, so Solid Crazy, my brother in Christ, has asked a very important question. Notepad, you are forced on a blind date. You can either choose the tall, skinny, muscle-toned tsundere elf girl, or the 4-foot pudgy, sexually aggressive, short-stacked goblin girl. Who do I choose? Death. Choose death. I die standing before I touch an elf or a goblin. Yeah. Fun fact, like, neither of these are ending well for me. That's the thing. You gotta remember, neither of these are actually going well. Elf it is. See, I'm too autistic for tsunderes. I know, I'm too autistic. I mean, like, oh, well, she just fucking despises me. Fuck. Like, god damn it. That's why I didn't like Asuka for the long time. I'm like, damn, I don't like Asuka. She's kind of just a bitch. But now, growing up as an adult, I've realized that Asuka is still bad, but Misato's the real winner. Always remember that, gamers. If you ever get into the argument of who's better, Rei or Asuka, it's always Kaworu. Go for the guy that throws everybody off. I choose death. Ow. Let's do so. She has ability to manipulate. She has ability to manipulate fate and chance around them. Fate and chance around them. Let's see. She has ability to manipulate fate and chance around them. She's able to manipulate fate and chance around them, allowing them to bend the world to their favor. Moment. Those with high luck are naturally fortunate. Let's see. Those with luck are naturally fortunate, and actually destiny seems to favor their wild antics. Let's see. Destiny seems to favor their wild antics as well as. Luck is literally all about manipulating luck. I just realized cultivation is ancient Chinese 8th grader syndrome. To a degree, it's kind of Chunyism there a little bit, but like the basic concept is fine, is kind of interesting. It's like, yeah, hey, you can attain immortality if you meditate a lot, if you practice a lot, cool. And it's like kind of like you could say like the next logical step behind like wuxia stuff. Because I think wuxia is pretty interesting. It's like, yeah, you're a bunch of wandering heroes who just do stuff and try to help people out. I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. That's kind of a cool idea. Like, Jianjia is kind of like the natural progression of that. It's like yeah, you're wandering heroes, but now you've mastered the art of superpowers and shit. It's just that it's, like, quickly escalated to the point of insanity. Where, like, it's just bizarre at some points. Let's see. Like, there's a reason, like, I can fucking type Amazing Cultivation Simulator. Like, Amazing Cultivation Simulator is an amazingly in-depth game because it actually deals with all of it completely 100%. And it's like, yeah, you want to learn about how to do all of this? You can, totally. There's nothing stopping you. You want to become ancient Chinese beauties? Yeah, do it. Nothing's stopping you. Not a single thing can stop you. And it's all the bullshit put together at once. And that's what it is the vast majority of the time. It's like, yeah, this is magic bullshit going on. It's like, oh, cool ideas. I'm just like, oh fuck. Trick question. I choose C. Let's see. 0225. The G is natural coordination, and if you ever wanted to be an ancient Chinese beauty, you just have to meditate on the rock about it. Yeah, or just be born in the right area. Honestly, just be born right. Let's see. The G is natural coordination, speed, and reaction. Reaction to the situation, allowing them to move quickly, and actually just be born in age. Yeah, just be born right. Allowing them to move like the wind. Oh no, let's see. I don't know the name, but how do you feel about the dice system found in Legends of Wu Lin? Idea where you roll dice pools to make matches, same number of d10s, like a 3, 4, 34. I've seen it done before. Like I've seen it done before. It's usually a bit weird and stuff, but like one of those ones I notice a lot of the time with that is like if you ever have a lot of numbers. Like if you have a lot of dice, it could get a little bit funky. One roll engine does that actually. ORE does a variation of it, but ORE does that. I don't know. I haven't really touched on that one before. I haven't really gone over any games that do it, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it could be interesting. Surprised there's very little evil cultivation techniques. There are evil cultivation techniques. They're just used by bad people who do evil shit. Anytime the evil cultivator shows up, it's probably going to be them. Those with high agility are fast on their feet and one roll engine. Let me see. Probably the most common one would be Rain in Enchiridion. This is probably one of the most famous ORE games. Let's see, what was it? It's a Little Nightmares, I believe. Not Little Nightmares. Monsters and Other Childish Things. That was it. This was the other one that does the ORE thing. Not many. That's why. Yeah, Monsters and Other Childish Things are usually a godlike. Apparently uses it. Stoles. Huh. Neat. Yeah, this is one of the guys who actually made Delta Green. Interesting. Fascinating. Thank you for subscribing with Prime, Cold War. Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's see. We want to click on the right things because I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's see here. There's how fast on their feet and pinpoint in their accuracy. My power and physical skill. The Gia 0225. It's getting very dark in my room right now. Gia. Break down walls and their enemies in a pinpoint strike. Those with high might are titanic monsters on the field of battle and physical. I better run an ad since I'm going to take a stroll. Alright, everybody. Sorry, gotta run a 60-second ad. I knew adding that feature was a great fucking idea. Let's see. Those with high might are monsters on the field of battle and physical activity. So we do this, we will organize all of this into we will alphabetize all of this in a second. So we do relock agi my there. Okay, so we need to put agility here, constitution. Here. He's in soul, and we probably give you your own. Scholar. Those with high reason. Hello phone, what is up? Those with high soul. Those with high luck. We can actually, let's do this. Can I bagel you? It's just that. Oh god, this is awful. This is truly agonizing. I guess if we do something like this, so we split it up in half, we slap an image right there, we slap an image right here, we add we can add a big note right here. This is Jean. This is the Jean-Gio one. Yes. This is the Jean-Gio one. Also, thank you for following. Ha ha ha. I'm doing it. This is the Jean-Gio one, yes. Shantia? Doing my pronunciation correctly. Which is... it's not a Toku game, guys, but it's totally a Toku game. Okay, so we've got all this. We've established this. So we want to just make a... Let's just make a basic character. We're going to call him... What's a good... random Chinese name. Let's get a good, fun Chinese name. Random Chinese Mandarin name. Let's do a male name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jinyang. Actually, what would be a good... what would be the university dropout? University dropout in China. Let's see. Problem with Chinese, not enough dropouts. What is the dropout rate? China, 40. Cumulative dropout rate is 43.1%. Because I know in Japan they would be called Ronin. That's like the official term. Actually, no, we can do Chinese Super Ronin. There we go. Chinese Ronin. A weeb. Okay, so we want to build our basic attributes. So we have our AGI, Con Luck, Might, Reason, Soul, and he's got 3 points to spend. So he's not going to be very fast. He's not going to be very enduring. He's very not lucky. However, he's going to we'll give him. He's very charismatic, and he's got a little bit of might in it. There we go. This is what his stats are. Now, 1 second, I need to. Oof. Lights on. Just my life. Okay, so we've got that. If we go down, actually no, if we go down here, what we need to do is we need to explain what the fuck attributes actually do. Don't actually explain that up top. So, yeah. When the attributes have been chosen. Actually, when making a check, the GIA 0225, the GIA is allowed to augment their roles with their attribute. They are allowed. They choose either of their dice. They choose either of their dice. Let's see. They choose either of their dice and increase. Let's see, and increase the value of 1 by 1 for actually increase, comma, or decrease, comma, the value of one of the die by one per attribute point. This does allow a actually the do not need to let's see, the attribute need not spend attribute or any at all if they roll a bad result on their on the dice. Tong dong. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I know we can do a. We'll make an example. An example. An example. Let's see. Jin Yang jumps a fence. While taking a stroll around town. That's Jin is ambushed by. Let's see. Jin is ambushed by. He chooses the book it. On an alley, he chooses. Let's see. Few of the devil's minions. Not willing to transform, fight them off. He chooses the book it. Running down alley. He needs to climb a fence to get out of the way of. Actually, I don't know. We'll do something else. You know, we'll do Jin Yang and. Jin Yang and the injury. Jin was recently injured in a fight with the devil's minions. Was recently injured in a fight with the devil's minions. Coming back to his part-time job, he is questioned by his boss. While it's obvious that Jin is heavily while it's obvious that Jin is injured. Well, it's obvious Jin is injured. He needs to convince his boss. That he's fine to work. Task is considered to be easy, 50. Actually, we'll do 40. The task is considered to be easy, 40. And he is going to be an easy 40 soul check. Jin rolls the dice. And scores a 32. Naturally, a failure. Naturally, a failure, even with dice reversal. Rather than increase his karma. He chooses to use his attribute. To use his soul attribute to tick up the result of the tens place to tens place by one to 42. He succeeds, convincing his boss that he fell down a flight of stairs, but he's still fine. There we go. Pretty simple stuff. Again, it's not supposed to be complicated. It's like, yeah, here's just like an immediate thing. Yeah, here I've been. So he's convincing his boss that he fell down a flight of stairs, but he's still fine. Because all this does, at the end of the day, all this is let's say I take my dice, I roll, and I have a 2 in something. I rolled a 56 naturally. I could try to switch it around to be a 65, or I could say, okay, I want to actually reduce my value of my die, for example, from 6 to 5. So now I've scored a 55. And since dubs explode, I get to take my dice again, and I rolled a 8. So I rolled a total of 63. So I'm like, that seems pretty awful. Maybe I could do, since I have one more pip to use, maybe I want to reduce that down to, say, 9. So now I scored a total of 55 plus 98. I scored a total of 153 on a single check. That's really how you're going to be increasing it, by getting those dubs and kind of manipulating the dice to where you need them to be. We slap an image right there. We've kind of justified it, and actually, side note. Relation. Attribute dice are. Attribute buttons are tied to the entire roll themselves. So having are tied is tied to the entire roll. Having the dice explode after using a single point. Actually, using a single point of it still technically count. Single point of it would allow the augmentation of the second roll. Would allow the augmentation of the second roll if the Gia 2225 Gia still had attributes. This is how you're going to be scoring those big results, is trying to get everything into correct positions more than anything. It's like, okay, I rolled an 80. I rolled a, let's see, like, oh, I rolled a 44 actually. No, let's see, rolled a 45. Well, I can increase it up to 55, or I can decrease it down to 44, and kind of see how I can manipulate my dice there. That's how it really boils down to. Plus using all the other dice augmentations as well. So it's like, So we slap a big image right there. We slap an image right there. Okay, cool. I think attributes work pretty well. They're not perfect, but they'll do. We are going to work with skills. Skills are kind of like one of the odd bits, because like I want skills. I hate to break it to everybody involved, but I want skills because I think skills are nice, and I like them because I think they give a lot more let's say necessarily say like nuance, but they give each individual character a little bit more to do individual. So it's like, yeah, this is who I am rather than who somebody else is. It's like, this is me and my character. But there's already a lot going on here with this particular game, so I'm thinking of like, what would be... The part of me wants to make this like open skills. The other part of me wants to write down like a giant list of skills that you can take. What's a good option here? Well, let's think about this real fast. Let's think about this. So if we go with open skills would be more along the lines of like, you kind of just choose whatever, like, here's a career, this is what you do, like, and you get a bonus of plus 10 or whatever every single time you do the thing. Hey, I do the thing with this, I get a plus 10 bonus, or I get a bonus here, I get a penalty here, I get a, you know, I get a thing here to do it. Like, I guess that would work. Would it? Doesn't seem very, something doesn't seem right with that. Or we go with like a really controlled skill list, or just a gorillion skills. I don't know on this. Because the thing is, like, I don't want necessarily like skills to be like, this is the combat skill, you should max it out to do combat better. Hey, this is the ranged build skill, you should max it out to do this better. It's more like, these are just things that help you kind of connect with other people, as well as kind of, you know, highlight who you are. What's your personal opinion of having a gorillion skills? They need to have a, my two things on skills are three camps. One, skills need to have purpose, and they need to be relatively equal in footing. SCP, the SCP-RPG, did not do this very well, because there are some skills which are, you are allowed to live, and the others are architecture, which doesn't, it's like, yeah, and you have a very limited amount of skill points to kind of distribute among them, so it's like, yeah, no shit, people are going to like overemphasize certain skills. The second one is, every skill should be valuable in its own right. And there should never be like just a few god tier skills or like a few mandatory ones. That happens a lot. Like, it's kind of like having redundant skills are bad just as much as having like really just obviously good ones that everyone's going to want to put points into. The final one is kind of the odd one out, which is the rifts. Yeah, mind you, let me finish that. I was just about to get to that actually. Or you get the rifts method, or the megaversal method, which is another one that I'm kind of also in favor of. Because here's the thing with rifts. Here's the thing with megaversal system. Those skills are not all supposed to be useful. That's the point. Fuck them. You don't need to be useful. Take your cowboy skills. Because it's not necessarily the idea of the skills are useful, the skills are valuable. It's the fact that you have those skills. It's the fact that this is who you are with these skills. Because you have the cowboy skills, not only, no, don't run away. Not only do you have, you know, the ability to do fucking wrangling and shit, it's the fact that you have this history. Why do you have these cowboy skills? Well, I have the cowboy skills because I'm from the frontier. I am from the spirit. I'm from the West, and I have all these things that I've developed from the West. Cool. That's, you know, that's clearly something there, and the GM can now kind of coin that in as something that maybe you want to explore. The basic kind of idea being like rift skills. If you go down the idea that skills are more supposed to be a highlight of a character, more than they are supposed to be like raw mechanical value, that has its own virtue in my opinion. Rifts does that very well, and that was kind of like my revelation with D2000, which is like, why the fuck do I need all these skills? And then it's like, yeah, well, these skills are useful not necessarily because they are valuable, it's because that's kind of highlighting something of who you are. So it kind of depends on how you want to do it, because in like rifts, there's no like, in rifts, there's no strict combat skill. You don't roll D100 for combat checks. There are skills that make combat easier, just as much as there are skills that make combat a lot harder. Doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you have them. The fact that you possess a skill that allows you to do this, valuable by itself. But you should always take boxing. Every single time, just take fucking boxing. It's cheap, it's easy, you get a free combat action out of it. Every single one of my Rifts characters know boxing. That if you get a good if you get a crit on your unarmed strike, you can knock a bitch out. It's great. So you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna do How do I want to word this? Actually, no. The fuck are you trying? Why the fuck is there a half-naked goddamn minotaur in my server? There are many. Get out of my server. I should just make an AI art channel, honestly, just because I find it I find it interesting to me. I like it. Yeah, if I do put an AI art channel in there being this, like, what I would probably do is, like, you have to label it where you got it and, like, label tags in case you want to do that. That would be my thing. I think that would be kind of neat. I might do that. This is the Christian part of the server. Yes, this is the Christian part of the server. Ah. Ah, right there. Let's see. I think the device more to Discord than anything. I asked the. Ask that PBP server on how to make proper game server, and they said you can never have enough tabs. This isn't really a proper game server. This is just a collective autism at its finest. The Gia. The Gia are human at their core. This means that they had a life before. Let's see, the Gia are human at their core. This means they had a life before they became the chosen heroes of the Celestial Bureaucracy. Before they became the heroes of the government. Every fucking time. Bureaucracy. God, I hate bureaucracy. Is a weird word to spell every fucking time. Let's see. Every time before they became the chosen heroes of the Celestial Bureaucracy. To represent this history and experience each of the G have three backgrounds to define their character, to define themselves with. these can be freely chosen, but they provide a simple understanding of the character of the life that has been actually. These can be freely chosen, but they provide a simple understanding of the life that the Jia lived before their can be freely chosen, but they provide a simple understanding of the life that the Jia lived before the flux of power. Each of these backgrounds will provide a flat +10 bonus to any check associated with them. So each of these backgrounds will provide a flat +10 bonus to any check associated with them. Actually, each of these backgrounds will provide a flat bonus to every check that is associated with them outside of combat. Most none of the while the Jia actually 225 while the Jia may have a history of fighting or soldiering, none of them will have properly experienced the true power of transformation combat, with the true power of their new to probably experience the new power they have in a common sense. This entire line, that entire sentence there, is for 2 reasons. It's I want to prevent people from saying I'm a super martial artist, so I get a +10 on all my bonuses, and I'm super cool and awesome. I can hurt people better because I'm that way. No. This is like an actual honest-to-God combat experience, like an actual honest combat. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get a bonus from your backgrounds. He's like, well, why? Because these are about who you were. Hey, I'm a super cool soldier man. Doesn't really matter. But all the associations of being a soldier, though, you can get a bonus on them. Actually, this bonus is determined. The bonus is determined by 3. Actually, the bonus receives is based. The bonus that you receive is based on the relevancy of the background, granting a +10 for common association, +20 for niche applications, and a +30 for exact specifications. For exact specifications. The more detail. Let's see. Actually, there is no limit to what backgrounds are available. There's no limit to what backgrounds are available. But when backgrounds are available, anything that the Jia accomplished or understood. Let's see. Anything that the Jia accomplished, worked, or experienced can be valid options for backgrounds. So my basic idea, you don't assign it, just like whatever, it's kind of whatever is relevant. So, you know, for example, like Jin Yang, for example, we can say that he is kind of a natural athlete. He does like a running. He's a natural athlete. He is a college dropout. Professional schmooze. Or it's kind of like the idea of like if he's like running, he's doing something, he can apply natural athlete. Hey, if he's trying to do some like basic education stuff, like, oh, like, okay, he can kind of apply to college dropout to it. Or hey, he's a professional schmooze. Or it's like, yeah, if he's kind of interacting with people, he's kind of like, he's a little bit back and forth where he's like, yeah, hey, you know, I'm here. He's a little bit weird. Like if that's the entire shoulder gets +10 to hazing and walking long distances. Yeah, shit like that. It's like things that are like common ideas. But it's like if you want to kind of refine these down a little bit, you might be, you know, Jin Yang, you know, it's just like a former, you know, you might be former track and field star. And he might be a marketing degree dropout. And then professional schmoozer. This kind of gives a bit more context to who this guy is. It's like, yeah, he's this former track and field star. So if you more detailed you go on it, you have a little bit more, you know, you can get those +20s and those +30s a lot easier, but you may be losing out on more like gradual things. If he's just like, oh, I'm a former track and field star, and like I'm swimming, I mean, like I'm probably not going to give you anything. You're like, that's not a lot of things here. Natural athlete though, you might get a lot of +10s. You might even get a few +20s. +30 is going to be real hard for you to get. You know, college dropout. We don't really know who you are, but you can get a lot of little education stuff. That's fine. A marketing degree. Here's a +30 for just by virtue of being a marketer. Like this is something that you went to college for. You're a dropout, but yeah, you're kind of you're this dumbass, and you know, and the fact that he's a professional schmoozer. Like, okay, now if I really want to be a womanizing jackass, it's just like, okay, these are two very different characters, but you kind of get the idea of like this is a little bit more developed. You kind of understand like who this guy is and how he's kind of a fuck up, but he's kind of a fuck up, and he's like, yeah, you can kind of see who this guy is. Here it's just like, okay, we understand who he is, but it's like, well, here's a little bit more story, here's a little bit more context. That's kind of the idea. Let's put it though, just to make sure. And you know what? I should put a side. We'll do actually an example. But we'll not use Jin, for example. We'll use somebody else. Let's do a random Chinese name. I'm using Chinese names for example because I can. Yeah. What do we want? Let's think. I mean, I don't think anyone's really gonna care if I use the Japanese name, right? Right, everybody. As a fun fact, Japanese names sound better. Hinasukiko. Does Jin Yang also make too? Hey, I'll have you know, I did not drop out. He's not my self-insert. No, no, please. Let's see. Hino says Kiko and her backgrounds. Hino. You also not a G. No, I'm no fucking hero. Let's be honest with ourselves here. I'm a dick. Let's see. I get fights on Twitter. Like, that's all you need to know. Hino has... recently been discharged from the hospital after her miraculous recovery. Her miraculous recovery from her mysterious illness. While getting used to not being in a hospital room, while still getting used to not being in a hospital room, she's determined her background, which is let's see, silver spoon. Actually, how do we want to word this? This would be actually no, she would be, how do we want to do it? Born with a silver spoon, sickly girl, and what would be a good third one? We want the idea that she has like a weird, you know, thing with medicine. I'm getting a phone call. Moshi Moshi. Hello, I'm alive. I'm not dead. Promise. Free music. Oh, there you go, Jordan. Merry Christmas. Let's see. What the fuck did I? No, you know what? I'm not gonna look at it. Boss is real. Much. Okay, so let me get back to what it is. So did get this all sorted out. Our girl here, Sakiko, daughter of a medical genius, raised by the hospital, sickly girl. For the past few years, Hino has been condemned to her hospital bed and learning the ins and outs of the medical world and her father's work. While she may not be the most worldly individual, her intelligence is unmatched. Very, very smart, also incredibly stupid. She's the kind of person who has absolutely zero knowledge of anything else outside of very specific things. Actually, should I even put in like a... Actually, I should say, if a background ever incur a... The background were to ever incur a penalty, then it will... And it follows the same formula. Whatever current penalty, then it follows the same formula of -10, -30. Though this should be far less common. So pretty much the idea here is like, yeah, because she was all of these things, she might get a -10 anytime she's having to deal with like, hey, what's all the things happening outside? She just doesn't understand people, really. She's very odd in that regard. She's like, yeah, her entire life has been raised effectively by a hospital staff, not really by anybody more specific, broad versus specific backgrounds. It may be tempting to have backgrounds such as underwater basket weaver, underwater basket weaver, as well as handyman, as well as jack of all trades. Jack of all trades. However, as the DM, you have final say over if does have very broad skills. Very broad backgrounds. They will most likely not score the +30s and +20s as often, while specific backgrounds may not be able to secure those +10s as off on as many broad as checks. +10s. Oh, slap an image right there. If we do something like this, is it gonna break? No, cool. Slap an image right there. Slap an image right there. We have all this. Slap an image right there. Cool. Pretty much the basic concept is, if you go really broad, you're not going to have the +30s, the big +20s. You're not really going to have that, but you're going to be able to get a lot more +10s. Being really specific, on the other hand, gives you a lot of bigger bonuses. It's just hard. They're just not going to pop up as much. That's kind of the problem. You're not really popping up as much as those. This is the term for hero in this stuff. Yes, Jia effectively means hero, vigilante, and a couple other words for that. Because all is like, if you, fun fact, Jean Jia, all this really says is immortal hero. That's all that actually is standing for. That's why you end up with things like wuxia. Like wuxia can be broken down into martial heroes. That's literally how it is. It's just a martial hero or martial vigilante, a military, a armed vigilante or armed hero. It's the same thing. That's all it is. Chinese is actually incredibly Chinese is a fascinating language. It really is a very interesting language. And relationships. So what I want to do today. Okay, we got this. So relationships. Relationships. Jia is not an island. Their previous life had people close to them, and had people close to them. Friends, family, co-workers, and even associates, they have formed bonds with. These individuals form the core of the Jia's relationships. Each Jia will begin play with a total of, actually no. Each relationship has an intensity. See, each relationship has an intensity ranked from 1 to 5. Representing how important that person is to the Jia. Oh God. Representing how important that person is to the Jia as and process and how well they can process karma. At the start of the journey, each Jia will have a total of, let's see, when in doubt, let's go to Chinese numerology. Woo! I think 7's a good number for that. Each Jia will have a total of 7 points to distribute among various relationships that they have chosen. Each of these relationships can only go. Each of these relationships have a minimum of 1, a maximum of 3 in their current state. Developing relationships and gaining new ones. Gaining new ones is essential to the experience. Is essential to the not lose their humanity. Each rank in a, let's see. Each relationship has a name and a tie with Gia. Gia, these can be friends or family. These can be just about anyone. However, having a positive or have the tie with the Gia. These can be just about anyone. The Gia could reasonably know. Could be could reasonably reason. Now, for example, a college student may have their friend a teacher or a pet as their relationships while a criminal may have a contact dealer or boss as their relationship. The intensity of the bond is easy. And desperate times. At minimum, the Geo the 5. Hello, phone. What do you need? Tell me something. Mom is sending me dad jokes. Awesome. At minimum, the Geo will have. But in theory, they can start with a maximum of 7. Maximum of 7. How many games actually use stats as dice? There's quite a few. It's hard to say like, oh well, there's this many, but there's a few of them. Because you get things like for example, like Savage Worlds, and pretty much any Ryutama is another very good one. A lot of them are stacking. I call them stacking dice systems. Sometimes Varric calls them dice ladder systems. The term's kind of interchangeable in my book. I think they're pretty neat. I like them. I don't get to use them very often. No, through relation, but in theory they can start with a maximum of 7. And of course, we're going to do this again. We're going to have another example. We're going to have an example. What would be another good name? Let's see. For example, Talia. Talia. Talia's history is a Talia's history is a complicated one. With many ties to many people, most of which are dead, or wish they were. During with her new life and assumed name, she has made a point to foster few relationships for their own good. However, she still requires genuine human connection will always through. Genuine human connection will always through. So it's going to, our first one is going to, what's a good name generator? Not my fault, it sounds better. Convenience store clerk 2. Let's see, a bright smile every day, and a chatty girl, who was fascinated by the exotic Dahlia. Let's do another one. We're going to Mr. Meowmers. Obviously, we need Mr. Meowmers. Adopted from of self. We'll do. Where's a good Chinese name? Doc Meng, Doc Meng. In a similar predicament, former Russian mob doctor, former Russian mob doctor, now barely legal operator of a clinic. Man. To bicker button Russian. Yep. So it's kind of along the idea. So example, like this is kind of how she operates. This is her relationship. So we kind of get a better idea of like, okay, this is what she can do to process her karma. This is what she has to do to process her karma. She has to interact with these people. There's going to be like, I believe there might be one person who gets the reference to that first one. That's not her name, but it's from a one shot. Where's the dog general here? What? Let's X7 as an important note. Gia cannot have relationships. Cannot have relationships among themselves or old organizations. The power emanating from others makes it difficult, if not impossible, to properly process the karma gain. While organizations, larger groups cannot have a proper relationship, but individual members of these groups can. So it's kind of like the idea of being like, you're not going to be, you're not going to have a relationship. Oh, dog meat general. Probably. Like, you're not going to have a relationship with the hospital staff. For example, like up here, the Sakiko, you're not going to have a relationship with, the hospital. You're going to have a relationship with the God. You're going to have a relationship with Dr. Miyamoto, and Dr. Miyamoto is going to be the one helping you out. That's kind of the person that you automatically know. You're going to have a relationship with a doctor or a nurse or someone inside the hospital, not just the group of the hospital themselves. So it's like, yeah, okay, here we go. Then we have our final one, what we need to do. We need to do health and defiance. Kind of understood how characters function. We kind of understand how they work. We're going to finally do actually no, we need to do no, we'll do health and actually survival. Ja are not immortal yet. Not immortal yet. When engaging the forces of the resident devil or any other supernatural threat, the young cultivators will run the risk of injury and death should they be outnumbered or outarmed. Should they be attacked. You are not immortal yet. Each of the Gia have a total health amount. Actually, each of the Gia have health, which represents their entire bodily bodily integrity, and ability to survive injuries. Injuries each. Survive injuries. When health reaches 0, the Gia has collapsed and is on death's door, needing to cling to life as they struggle to live. As they struggle with oblivion. There we go. Usually have health, which represents their entire bodily integrity and ability to survive injuries. Health reaches 0, the Gia has collapsed. In total, actually, the Gia has health. Actually, how do I want to do that? Okay, no. Table, we're going to do something like that. We're going to table over here. We're going to make it nice and small so we don't think about it too hard. And our first one is going to be we want to increase it by 2 each time. Every odd level you need to make the breakthrough, so we do 14 plus con. It could be 14 plus con. We do the breakthrough, then it would be actually no, we can actually reduce that. We'll do 5. Final one, and then we increase it by 3. What's going to be massive increase in power at the end there, but there's a reason for that. So, let's see. Total HP is determined by their level and their con attribute. It may seem that the Gia have low HP. However, the health pool will only decrease if they are attacked by supernatural forces, and their armor has been broken, after they have transformed. And their armor has been broken after they have transformed. You caught unaware. You're caught unaware, but you caught unaware are in danger if they are not allowed. If they are not allowed to transform, they are not allowed to transform. You're caught unaware are in danger if they are not allowed to transform. However, later, the stronger they are, the more refined their abilities become. The stronger their ability. The stronger their. However, the more refined their abilities become. Stronger their body will. The stronger their body will become. So the entire concept is increases by 2, and then you start increasing by 3, but then you do it by 4. And then the final one at rank 10 is like, yeah, rank 10 is you've hit the final bit. It's 44 plus con, which could probably mean you're going to be rolling pretty damn high, actually. You're going to be able to roll some pretty big fucking numbers and be able to survive some big hits. However, you're also going to be going up against the final bits of enemies. It's going to be a gauntlet. Why is the big bad guy 90% of the time the devil or Mega Satan or something? It's as if people aren't really creative enough to come up with an original villain. In Xianxia fiction, a lot of Chinese fiction, the concept of demon and devil are actually very ingrained. The idea is that a demon is kind of more along the line of a regular kind of a person or a supernatural entity. So for example, you may, for example, something like a animal-eared person, like this is a beast person, for example, they would be considered a demon. And they can act like they can be good, they can be evil, they can be very, they can even cultivate themselves, but they're just kind of referred to that as a demon as kind of like the translation for it. Devil in Chinese fiction is usually someone who is really fucking evil. A real devil is someone very scary. Usually they're kind of either a cultivator who went about things in a very evil way, or they are people who have done something so horribly evil they've actually achieved a little bit of overt power that it's hard to defeat them now with. It's like, well, shit, we have to defeat the devil. This person is a devil more than anything. One example for this is Tekken, for example, Devil Kazuya. He's referred to as the Devil Kazuya because he is literally possessed by an evil force of nature that allows him to kick the shit out of people and wants to win a super tournament. Koto Ken, he becomes a devil. Doesn't become a demon, he becomes a devil. It's I'm trying to think of what the other one is. Let me see if I can find, like, it gets a little bit weird because it's give you an idea, devils are fucking evil. Like, they are real scary, and they are not to be fucked with, because they will fuck your day up. These are guys that are, like, clearly not nice people. Demons, on the other hand, they're fine. No, trust them though, but they're fine. I got no quarrel with you, kind of thing. So that's the reason why. But yeah, you'll be fighting them. So we've got that. However, more refined abilities become. However, the more refined their abilities. However, the more refined their cultivation becomes, the stronger their body will. The stronger their body will. However, the more refined the cultivation becomes, the more powerful their natural body We put one piece of artwork right there, kind of giving an understanding, like, hey, this is how this works. We a little bit to get this, give us a little bit more room to play around with. I think this will be nice. We got a lot of room here. One big image right here. We can finally do final touches. Final touches, which we will do transformation. Transformation here. Attention hero. So that's why there's so many demon king but no devil kings. Yeah. Like, we here in the West, we associate demon demon devil as being kind of the same thing. But in Eastern in kind of more Eastern mythology, demons are like, demon is like civilized but inhuman. Sometimes civilized, but like clearly inhuman entities. But they're like, we don't really give a shit about them. However, like devil on the other hand are like clearly fucking evil, like clearly fucking evil people. Usually the thing being is that devils manipulate demons. That's kind of the idea. Oh no, the clearly fucking evil person is kind of manipulating the Inhumans. Oh no. Anytime you see people being like, it's my demon blood or something like that, that isn't necessarily saying like, oh, my evil Satan blood. It's, oh, my inhuman blood. Do I have a... And final step in creating a Jia. Jia is determining their transformation. During their journey, the Jia will need to transform themselves into a combat capable form, allowing them to be on equal footing with the minions of the devil. This transformation sequence is unique to every Jia. This transformation sequence is unique to every Jia. The universal features follows. Universal features are as follows. They are armored. They are armored in some capacity. Though heavy armor. They are armored in some capacity, but not strictly heavy metal plates. Simply covering the skin in some way. There is a mask or covering. There's a mask or identity concealing feature of the transformation to hide the identity. Yeah. Hide the identity. Yeah. And transformation sequence takes a full action to perform. Takes a full action to perform. Seconds. Around 10 seconds. And to all of those around the Gia, they are illuminated. They are illuminated. They are brightly. They are illuminated. They are illuminated by a blinding light. They are illuminated by a blinding light. And then emerge fully suited up for combat. Fully suited up for combat. Those with spiritual power, including other Gia, do perceive the full sequence. Do perceive the full sequence, but only the most dangerous quick entity. Only the most dangerous or quick entities can even attempt to stop it. I am debating if I want to do something slightly different with the transformation sequence. I'm kind of going back, but let's see. When fully transformed, the Gia will receive an AP. Will receive an armor pool. When fully transformed, the Gia will receive an armor pool, which represents their natural ability to resist damage. This damage due to their suit. Well, at least you're following, it's either let it happen or blow up, which represent their natural ability to resist damage during due to their suit. While transformed, they are able to fully manipulate their chi and use all of their abilities. Later in their development. The deal will unlock further transformations. And ability. Allowing them to further develop. Allowing them to develop their personal abilities. Help their forms even further. Here, roll up a bit. You can do the one that hits hard. There we go, right there. We'll do level 1 to 3. Or 4 to 6. level 4 to 7, and then 8 to 9, 8 to 9, and then 10. So we can do let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Armor pool is going to be, we're going to do a flat 20. We're just going to increase it by a flat 10. There. Goes all the way up to 60 in your final one. 20, 30, 40, 60. So yeah, you have quite a bit of health while you're transformed. That's the idea. You want to have a decent number of health. But the problem is just like, yeah, if your armor breaks, then you're going to start taking health damage. You don't want to do that. None of the numbers here are like strict yet, so I need to get it written down though. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty confident. So we've got this. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Next week, here's the plan. Next week is going to be the hump week. We have 3 episodes effectively. And the plan is at the end of episode 5 is I want the entirety of combat done and I want the entirety of abilities done. That is our goal. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to go back through everything and I'm going to double check it all. Just going to make sure everything kind of looks right, make sure everything kind of sounds right. Just generally try to make sure that everything is the way that it's supposed to be. Everything is cool. Probably clean up some wording. My idea for like this was that there was different tiers of armor. Like, oh, you can choose to have light armor, heavy armor, medium armor. I might need to wait till combat's done for that. Yeah, that's kind of like one of the things with here is like I need to get this done before I can do these. Because all of this is going to inform this, and then mind you, all of this is then going to inform combat some more. So it's one of those weird things where I call this the hump simply because there's a lot of things interacting with each other all at once. Because there are so many things interacting with each other, I need to make sure they all clink together really nicely. That clink is the hard part. So yeah, probably Monday is going to be combat. I'm going to sit down and we're going to do the entirety of combat, and then probably Wednesday we're going to either clean up or we're going to start on powers and abilities. And that's kind of the plan. In desperation, if I'm like truly behind, what'll happen is I will spend Sunday working on it to finish it up. Because once this is done, the rest of this is pretty simple. Like, we already kind of have how a game works. The game works. The game is like, I wouldn't say again, the game doesn't work yet, but like clearly the game like system is present. It's just doing it. So that's the plan. Tomorrow though, because today is Friday, tomorrow we're going to be going over Giant Lands. Yeah, it's going to be the micro case on Giant Lands. So noon EST, make sure you're there. I will make sure to go over that entire debacle with everybody. So hopefully everyone had a good time. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon, and I will see you all tomorrow. Godspeed, good luck. My throat is dying. Ugh.